U.S. national junior team, the defending gold medal champs.
Yeah.
Tough battle today.
Interesting contest.
Yeah,
kind of a seesaw affair.
Yeah. Back and forth they would go. Let's play you these highlights, and then we'll kind of break things down. We'll let you see what went down. Again, exhibition game. It's Finland. It's USA. First period action. We will dive right into it. Just a few minutes into play. Finland, and one of the questions I want to ask you guys is how they dominated early, and it's Sima Taival with a goal right here.
Yeah, really lopsided in the early going for substantially all of the first period. It's Finland. I had shots about 9-3 for much of the, to late in the first period. And this is just a function of get it to the net, scramble, win your battles, and they're able to bang it home past Comesso.
But then the turnover here, and Tanner Dickinson said, yes, I got you.
When people give you a gift this time of year, you have to take advantage of it. He was laying there, and he just wired that one inside the post. Night shot by Mr. Dickinson.
Second period was physical. There was action. There were stops.
That's a save right there.
Go ahead. Talk about it then. Go ahead.
Look at this save. This is remarkable. Remarkable. Nyes can't believe that he got robbed. He was 4x6. He's just like nodding his head.
Wow.
Dude, you got me.
I love it. Dude, you got me. More physical play, more action, and a little bit of an injury there, too.
Yeah, he comes off there not looking too good.
Now, Smilanic.
Bench, you never like to see that.
Yep, third period we go, seconds in, a little puck battle along the boards. You guys, check out this pass, and Berard says, all right, I got you.
Matty Beniers, this is the play right here. Watch, off the wall, spinorama, fire it into the middle, finds Berard on an empty seam, empty lane, and Berard just zips it past the Finnish netminder.
But now it kind of looked like USA was taking control. Here we go, Dominic James with a tally. They go up 3-1 in the third.
Yeah, gets to the front of the net, whips it past the goaltender. Things are looking good for Team USA. A good shot there by Chaz Luchas, and you can see the rebound knocked home by James.
At this point, I know we were standing here. We're like, all right, Team USA kind of dominating, kind of taking control of this one. They should be fine. And then there was a penalty here. And this may have changed the complexion of the game. Stu?
Yeah, it's all USA up to this point. I mean, they are really manhandling the Finns at this point. But Savage goes off 5-minute major for that high hit on an opposing Finnish player. And I'll tell you what, the bottom falls out for the U.S. team.
U.S. was leading 3-1. They were up in shots 33-15. Joel Matai with the power play goal with 1:45 to play.
Yeah, this is just a scrum in front to get the extra guy in there and find that loose puck and punch it home. And now it's a one-goal game.
40-some-odd seconds later, a rip from Ville Otavainen. 3-3.
Otavainen does a great job recognizing, hey, I've got a little space. Why not use that space? Navigates a little closer to the U.S. net, and he's able to zip it home. Great pass down from the left point side. Look, it recognizes, got all kinds of gap. Take it, zips it through the 5-hole. Nice play.
When you have ice,
use your ice. Use your ice.
So let's go to overtime. And Ronnie Irvinen with the goal, the game winner. It is 4-3. Finland takes it.
Yeah, the captain is able to maneuver along the perimeter. He's going to hold on to this puck and then move in against Stu. There was ice there. He was able to get into a spot where he could really release that puck, and it was a rocket over the shoulder. There's a good look at it right here.
That's
at the top of the net.
Look.
Great rip.
Just overpowered Silverstein inside the U.S. net. Great play by the captain. Does a great job. That little juke he does, kind of the top of the circle there, EJ, creates a little more space for himself, and then he's kind of got a little more net to work with.
All power play goals. All
power play. It's a pre-tournament game, so I don't know what we take from it. It's a 4-3 win for the Finns. And let's really dive into that. What do you take away from Team USA standpoint?
Focusing on the goaltending for starters, you know, 3 guys, none of which have World Junior Championship experience, but Comesso being the senior of the 3 netminders that the U.S. team brings to the tournament. He's drafted, second-round pick to Chicago back in 20, if I'm not mistaken, right? So he's kind of the senior netminder. He gets 2 periods of work. Silverstein gets the 3rd. And the upside, I thought, was for the U.S. Comesso, the U.S. is a little off their game kind of in the early going. He's peppered pretty good, but he does a really good job of kind of stabilizing things. And by the second period, towards the end of the first period, certainly into the second period, U.S. seemed to have found their legs, and I thought dominated for much of the remaining 2 periods. But a lot of that credit goes to Comesso. I thought he showed exceptionally well for a guy that's probably going to be your number 1 in this tournament. Fair to say?
I would agree, and I think they're happy about that performance because, as you point out, they don't have the Spencer Knight that they had last year, and even Dustin Wolf, guys that had experience. Comesso's a good goaltender, but this is the first time in the World Junior Championships for him. He was supposed to be part of the team last year as the number 3 guy. The COVID bug bit him, and he was not able to participate. So this is the first experience. I found it interesting that the coach, Nate Lehman, he used Comesso for 2 periods, and then you wonder, who is he going to go with, Mberico or Silverstein in the 3rd period? He went with Silverstein, so that shows us that he was leaning that way. But unfortunately for Silverstein, he got into a situation where there was all that power play time, gave up 3 goals. Mberico might now have a chance to be the number 2 guy. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, that's the point I was going to make. I think Coach Lehman is kind of indicating, here's my 1, here's my 2 going into it. There may be some question as to the 2, given the way things shook out. I don't know that the club played well in front of Silverstein during that power play. We saw that last 5-minute major, but Silverstein's got to bump into some of that. The other takeaway for me, just real quick, you look at returnees coming into this tournament for the U.S. team. Matty Beniers, first round draft pick ever for the Seattle Kraken in last year's draft. I thought he showed well tonight. He plays with a whole lot of pace. He really looked on his game. Fabulous pass to Bedard for the 2-1 goal, I believe.
And Keith, I would just add also just quickly that, again, it's a pre-tournament game, so that's the good news. But the lesson learned here is be careful with penalties.
Yeah.
Because you saw in this game there were 2 5-minute majors. One the Finns took early and one that the Americans took late. And in both cases, it changed the momentum. These are young players. There are a lot of momentum swings that can take place. So a lesson for Team USA, be careful on taking those high hits or unnecessarily penalties that they call an international play that could leave you shorthanded for 5 minutes, as we saw here.
It's a fantastic point. So many young players that you're seeing out there, the under-20s, the momentum is a big thing for you. Speaking of momentum, as we take a little pause for the NHL right now, we take a look now at the Eastern Conference playoff picture and a couple of teams on the outside looking in. You see, teams like the Bruins and Blue Jackets trying to scratch and claw. We'll talk about the Islanders a little bit later in the show as well. But then, ho-hum, the Tampa Bay Lightning, once again, doing their thing. Let's go to the Western Conference as well. And loaded. 3 teams with 40 points. The Knights look awesome. The Ducks have been up and down, but for the most part, they've been pretty good as well. And the Avalanche there, see them with those 36 points. They are dangerous. So are the Oilers. Always dangerous when we give